I've got good news and bad news. Here's the bad news. Most protein bars are packed with sugar and unpronounceable ingredients. The good news? There's a better option. I'm Will, and I created IQ Bar plant protein bars to empower doers like you with clean, delicious, low-sugar brain and body fuel. IQ bars are packed with 12 grams of protein, brain nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane, and zero weird stuff. And right now, you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping. Try our delicious IQ Bar sampler pack with 7 plant protein bars, 4 hydration mixes, and 4 enhanced coffee sticks. Clean ingredients, amazing taste, and you'll love how you feel. Refuel smarter, hydrate harder, caffeinate larger with IQ Bar.
Go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20 to get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping. Again, go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20.
You're listening to a Frequency Podcast Network production.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Welcome to Thursday. My name is Brock.
I'm Dalby.
I know I say this a lot, but we have a contender for greatest headline of 2026 right now.
It has been a headline-heavy front of the year so far.
Man with bong built into his dashboard arrested for the 98th time after high-speed chase.
98th time? That's nuts.
So I guess this happened in Olympia, Washington. It's exactly what it sounds like. The sheriffs had been reported that some guys had just robbed a store.
Okay.
And they start tracking after this car. They end up going down a high-speed chase down the highway, which was then called off by officers due to the reckless driving of the fleeing motorist.
One of those ones where, like, the guy trying to make the getaway is so out of control, it's dangerous to keep chasing him.
Officers eventually located the 2 suspects and their truck. And inside the truck, they did find the stolen weapons. They found a bunch of drugs, meth, heroin, fentanyl, all that stuff. But the officers also found a, quote, custom bong device built into the dash of the truck so he could comfortably smoke drugs while driving.
I'm just picturing, like, you know those interlocks that you get when you get a DUI that you have to blow into?
It's one of those.
It's one of those, but reverse engineered so that you suck out of it instead.
Yeah.
Imagine that's how he has to start the car.
I was also like picturing, I was like, maybe it's like he opened the glove box and he somehow, instead of like washer fluid, he's got the bong in there.
Something like that.
Yeah.
The craziest thing about all of this, though, is this man has a custom bong built into the dashboard of his car, and that has nothing to do with why he's been arrested 98 times. That's just a bonus.
I mean, that's the other thing. That's there's the bong on the dashboard. There's the being arrested 98 times. I mean, the 97 prior arrests. It's like, I mean, at what point do you just get thrown in jail and you stay there?
I fully believe in the idea that a justice system should be based around rehabilitation. The goal should always be to take criminals and try to make them better people.
This is Trailer Park Boys behavior. The whole bong on the dashboard, being arrested that many times and then still being allowed to be in the public. That's something Ricky would do.
At 98 arrests, I do believe, as much as I believe in second chances, it is safe to say that this man is a harm to society.
He must be on a first name basis with every deputy in the town.
Do you think he's got like secret handshakes with a lot of the people who work in the jail?
He's probably got his own spot.
Hey, you can't put that guy in there. That's Jeff's cell.
I do wonder if before the chase actually started, if it was just a speed chase or...
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
We were talking about that guy with the bong built into his dashboard who's been arrested 98 times. And you may think that must be some sort of world record.
98 has to be at least in the top 5. I just can't picture a lot of people getting more than 98.
No, not even close. What would you like to guess is the world record for the most arrests?
World record. So it's not 98, and you're saying not even close. So I'm going to have to say it's at least over 100, 125?
You're still way too low.
150?
Higher, 4 digits.
4 digits? No way someone's been arrested 1,000 times.
There has been, yeah.
It's higher than 1,000.
It's higher than 1,000.
1,200.
It's still higher.
1,500 times.
The alleged Guinness World Record for the most times to be arrested is an Australian man named Tommy Johns.
Okay.
Who apparently was arrested nearly 3,000 times for public intoxication.
3,000 1,000 times just for being drunk in public?
Now, apparently, this is a highly disputed and untrackable record due to issues with the availability of records and stuff because it like dates back to the 80s or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
Although there is another notable figure who does claim to have this world record, a man named Henry Earl from Kentucky, who was arrested over 1,500 times for similar offenses.
I mean, rookie numbers compared to 3K, but still 1,500 arrests feels like at some point this is your full-time job.
It's all just drunk and disorderly stuff or whatever. And apparently, if you mathed it out, this guy spent like 6,000 days in prison, which equals to like 16 years. But it's basically just like night in, night out type stuff.
Well, that's just it. I was just thinking like, okay, so it's a 1,500 arrests, 6,000 days in jail. He's averaging about 4 days between catch and release.
Now, the guy did pass away back in 2024, but I guess in the area of Kentucky he grew up in or lived in, he was sort of like a local legend. He'd apparently hang around the University of Kentucky, like college bars, and kids would just buy him free drinks because he had this weird status amongst the community.
It was, I think as the kids call it, he had aura.
Yeah.
At this point, you're just buying him a drink to see if you can get him arrested again.
After he passed away, there was cops that said they really liked him. He was a funny character. They would try to encourage him to not stay out past 9:30 or 10 o'clock because then that's when he'd get into trouble.
We can't legally put a curfew on you permanently, but it would be really great, Hank, if you just go home.
And I know like on paper that it's like the 1,500 doesn't look like much to the 3,000, but they say it is 1,500 dating back to 1992. Damn. The man claims that his first arrest came back in 1975. Oh. And they only have digital documentation starting since 1992.
So he's like, yeah, the 1,500 good numbers or whatever, but you're leaving all the rest off the table.
It's kind of like old baseball stats, right? Where like there's a certain point where they know when history began.
Yeah. I love that. If you're the police, do you like eventually start buying this guy like birthday presents? Do you like check in on him on anniversaries?
I mean, you're most definitely not buying him a bottle of wine. That's for sure.
I've known people who work in the police force, and like, it can be a lonely life. You get married to the job. At this point, for some of those Kentucky police officers, this is the closest thing they had to a relative.
In a world that's changing all the time, some things always stay the same, you know?
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Jays kick off their season tomorrow, but George Springer and Ernie Clement were at the Leafs game last night. Did you see the video of them getting caught sitting in the wrong seats?
I did. It's maybe the most human a couple of Major League Baseball players have felt in a long time.
Turns out our goats are just like us.
Sitting in a couple of decent seats at the
they're like front row on the glass, pretty much.
Scotiabank Arena. And then just what a thrill for that old usher to get to come down and give him the tap on the shoulder and be like, fellas, you gotta go.
It was all caught on camera. If you want to see the video, text Jays to 762-555. I'll send it to you. As they walk like 10 rows up to their seats, there's like a dad and their kid sitting beside, and the kid's like so excited, and Ernie gives a little daps there as well too, which was pretty cool.
That was the thing I did like, is that like, what a moment for that kid who's obviously a huge fan to be like, oh, they're moving up. Oh my God, they're sitting next to us. Dad, they're sitting next to us.
Imagine being the guy that narked on him. Like, who are these jackasses sitting here? You know?
You're in my seat, buddy.
Highly unexpected result of who will be the first Blue Jay ejected this season.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Apparently, squirrels are now vaping.
Sorry. Who's giving them the vapes?
Apparently in the UK, they've noticed a huge uptick of squirrels actually stealing people's vapes, mainly due to the fact of the aromas in the scents and the flavors, because they're really fruity.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, some of those vape flavors, like I've never vaped, but the flavors, like the smells when someone walks by, the people working on that, the vape scientists have got it figured out.
They're not actually like hitting the vape. They're basically like anything that's discarded in the trash or anything like that. They're kind of like gnawing on it due to the flavors and the smells or whatever, but they're still getting the hit of nicotine,
right?
Which scientists are really worried about.
Well, yeah. And not only like could the squirrels get addicted to nicotine, but also A lot of those vapes have those like little lithium batteries in it, which can like explode under pressure, which is also terrifying.
I mean, on the plus side, if they get a little nicotine fix in them, maybe it'll make some of the squirrels in my backyard shut up and chill out a little bit.
Yeah, on the negative side, then they start having nick fits if they're not getting a regular fix.
Oh my God, imagine how crazy. Like, we talked about like cocaine sharks and cocaine bear before. Nicotine squirrel would be crazy.
Just super irritable, just jumping on you and your dogs in the backyard, try to shake you down for a hit.
I mean, thinking about animals that could get addicted to nicotine, I'm surprised the raccoons haven't gotten into this a little bit more.
Honestly, between the butts from cigarettes and now the vapes everywhere, and I mean, even you have to assume that at least one raccoon somewhere has gotten his hands on a Zyn.
Yeah. Hey, dude, eventually you might have to go through the forest and instead of feeding them peanuts to the squirrels, tossing out some Zins or some Zonics to the fellas.
Just a squirrel packing a lip and moving on with his day.
They're going to jump you out in the forest.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast. It's time for Brock and Dalby's Draft.
We had a request for a draft from friend of the show, Jessica, who said we should do a draft on the best places to get some people watching done.
A favorite pastime for the both of us. There's just, everybody's got a story, and sometimes you can learn the most fascinating things about our species just by watching people in their native environments.
I got the number one pick, so my first pick for the best place to do some people watching, I'm going to go with the airport.
Gotta be the airport.
The airport is one of the best places because there's people from all over the whole goddamn world.
Yeah.
And it's a huge melting pot. You can see some freakouts. You can see people stressed out. You can see people arguing and everything. You've got family, parents with their kids and everything, couples, all this kind of stuff. It's everything everywhere all at once.
I love that all of your examples were like the negative, stressful things. Like you can also see people seeing each other for the first time, being happy, going on vacations together.
That's not the best part about people watching. The best part about people watching is watching the meltdowns.
For my number one pick, I'm going to go with something kind of similar. I'm going to go with being on public transit.
Absolutely.
When you're sitting on a bus, especially if you're on a bus and you've got one of those sideways facing seats where you can real casually look up and down the bus, you will see so many different things.
The only problem I have with public transportation is you can't get caught staring. Because some interesting folks taking public transportation.
True.
You might get shivved.
To be fair, your head should always be on a swivel on public transportation anyway, so no reason to linger anywhere. Just keep looking for your own safety and entertainment.
Coming in at number 2 for best places to do people watching, got to go with Walmart.
Walmart. I mean, they built an entire website around the people that go to Walmart in the early internet.
Yeah, there's Facebook pages, there's websites, like Dalby said, called People from Walmart. You'll see the people in their pajamas. Once again, you'll see some freakouts in there. You'll see the most bizarre looking families and whatnot. It's a great place to get some people watching done and some shopping at the same time.
Even underrated, it's not quite people watching, but also fascinating when you see somebody who had to make a decision and just like abandon an item in a place where it doesn't belong. I always want to find those people and ask them their stories.
They say always low prices at Walmart, always weird people too.
Always low expectations.
Yeah.
Number 2 for me, actually kind of similar vibes to why you took the airport, the hospital waiting room. It's a bummer that you're in there, but at least you can take some solace in the fact that you are going to see humanity fall apart in front of you.
Yeah.
People who've been there waiting too long. You're coming up with stories in your own mind of like, how did this person end up here today in the shape that they're in? You're going to see arguments and yelling and everything. It is a dramatic play happening in front of you.
Sometimes it makes your wait in the waiting room a little bit easier.
The only thing that makes it tolerable.
Coming in at number 3, I'm going to go with the Fall Fair.
Fall Fair is a good one.
All the characters in town, for some reason, show up to the fairgrounds. And once again, you get all walks of life. There are people that are absolutely hammered drunk there.
Man.
There's fights and whatnot going down. The Fall Fair is a spectacle in so many different ways.
Well, and I mean, even you said every weird person in town, every character in town, they're coming from out of town. Not only surrounding area people coming into town for the fair.
You got the carnies in there.
The carnies themselves are just fascinating to watch. You pull up at like a picnic bench, eating your $47 churro, and you just take it all in.
You sneak behind a ride, you'll see some interesting stuff, I'll tell you that.
For my last one, kind of similar vibes, I'm going to say a parade. When you're in a parade, waiting for a parade to come by, and you've just got half the town lined up on the sidewalk around you. And people just, I don't know what it is. They think everybody's so focused on what's happening in the parade that no one's looking at them. I don't think I've ever seen so many picked noses and couples fighting as you do at a parade. It's fascinating.
And then you get the guys from the Legion coming in on the go-karts too.
Well, and that's the best thing to watch just in general. Go ahead, give me your top three.
All right, top three here for me for the best places to do people watching. I've got airport number 1, I've got Walmart number 2, and I've got the fair coming in at number 3.
I've got public transit, I've got hospital waiting room, and I've got at a parade. But now it's up to you guys to decide.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
It has been a very long time since I have been able to ring this bell, but I'm very proud to say got a W in the draft of best people watching here this morning.
You know, you always say you're man enough to admit when you've been beat. I'm man enough to admit it as well. As a matter of fact, I was almost ready to admit it mid-draft. When you dropped Fall Fair as your third and final pick, I was like, I don't even care anymore. That's a banger.
A lot of suggestions on things that we missed on our list. Casinos was on there.
Yeah.
Concerts was on there, which concert is great people watching.
Concert's great people watching depending on where you are. I would say on the floor, yes. Harder when you're in the seats.
If you're in the upper deck, like if you go to a big show and you're able to like look down and you're like, look at that person, look at that guy in the pit, whatever.
You're right. Something somebody texted in as well that I actually had as one of my alternate picks for the draft, mall food court.
Yeah.
I love a mall food court because it combines people at their weakest. 1, when they're spending a bunch of money, and 2, when they're eating a bunch of food.
You can see the cliquey old people when they're in there. They're literally like, it's like high school. They have their own tables and whatnot.
Right. If the mall has an A&W in the food court, you can tell who's come for coffee.
Someone texted in the gym, but then someone else texted in specifically Planet Fitness.
And you know what? There should be a differentiation between the two. Gym is just good people watching. Planet Fitness is great.
Planet Fitness is like the Walmart of gyms, you know? Like
I'm sure they're not going to put that in their marketing, but it's 100% accurate.
We do have Matt on the phone. Matt, you have a suggestion that both of us should have thought of. What was it?
Oh, a wrestling show for sure, my man.
Hell yes. My whole wrestling career started because I went to my first live wrestling show like in college. And I watched this family next to me, just the most absolutely bizarre gathering of human beings for the whole show, including at one point, the 12-year-old, I'm guessing, daughter. The bad guy's on the top rope. He gets hit, and as he's falling to the outside to the floor, she stands up and spits on him. And the whole crowd stands up and is like, yeah, you got him. And I was like, this is fascinating.
That's how you roll at a wrestling show, right? You go with the flow.
And I also love the guys that are walking around with their titles like they actually won the championship. That's my favorite part of going to wrestling.
Yeah, they're all the people's champ, right?
There's some real parallels between the gathering of the Juggalos and going to a live wrestling show, you know?
There's definitely an overlap between the crowds for sure.
Brother, that Venn diagram is a perfect circle.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
This is Brock and Dalby's $15,000 big bag of cash.
Will you keep what you got or take another shot?
All right now we've got Paulie on the phone. Paulie, how you doing, brother?
I am great. Yourself?
Oh, we're doing good. We're hoping that we can spread some more money around and give you a big bag of cash this morning, brother.
I'm hoping the same.
Giving away over $6,700 so far. Got to ask, do you have any kind of a strategy or a plan coming in? Is there a deadline that you're setting for yourself for vaults or money?
No, I kind of had the same feeling Brock had this morning. I think number 5 is going to be the limit. I think 6 has the buzzer in it.
Okay, all right. So he's predicting that 6 is empty.
All right, we're on the same wavelength here. You ready to get going? First vault is guaranteed money. You want to see what it is?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's open her up.
$200.
$200.
200. Hey, no, let's keep going.
It's a good start, but that's not why he came here.
Yeah, you can't just take the first one.
Exactly.
Okay, let's see what's in vault number 2 here.
$225.
An extra $25 there. What are you thinking, Paulie?
Not enough. We got to keep going.
Yeah, I mean, if 200 wasn't enough, 225's not doing it.
Okay, let's see what's in vault number 3 here.
$375.
All right, we jumped up a little bit there, $375. Is this changing your mindset at all, or we're going to keep going?
No, we're going to keep going to at least 5.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Let's go.
$510.
Okay, $510, Paulie. Do we still want to go for 5, or is this kind of changed your mindset this morning?
No, we're going for number 5.
Oh,
Okay.
you're stressing me out, man.
Okay. Can we all take a breath together?
Yeah.
Breathe in. Breathe out. Good vibes, good vibes, good vibes. Let's open her up. Paulie, I'm sorry. We were not on the...
It wasn't 5. Damn it.
We were wrong. We were
You
wrong.
missed it by that much, brother.
Unfortunately.
Oh, well.
No, it's just the way she goes. All right. Well,
You got
thanks.
her, buddy.
Thanks for
Thanks
playing.
anyway, guys.
Take care.
Cheers, Paulie.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the thing about intuition is it can be hard to interpret. Both you and Paulie said Vault 5. Turns out what your gut was trying to tell you was don't go to Vault 5.
Yeah.
Stop before Vault 5.
Oh, man. It was such a good week.
Yeah.
We had to ruin it here.
The good news is we've still got tomorrow. We've only had one person not win so far. We can give away money tomorrow, get up over the $7,000 mark, and head strong into the last week of the game.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Just a reminder that calling 911 is for emergency purposes only. Durham Regional Police posted this video on their social media account. Listen to this.
Do you require police, fire, or ambulance?
I do not require an ambulance. I just need to talk to the police.
Okay, what's the emergency?
I dropped my phone in really deep snow and I can't recover it.
I'm sorry, that's not a police call.
Do you know anybody who I could call?
No idea. You just dropped your phone in the snow.
Yeah, and I can't recover it. I can't find it.
Yeah, so I don't know how to help you.
That's fine.
I don't know how to help you is probably something this person has heard a lot in their life.
You know what's crazy? Is that this is someone that's allowed to vote in our country.
Yeah, 100%. This person makes adult decisions that have ramifications on us all, but can't figure out that the person to call is someone who owns a shovel.
I have so much respect for people that do 911 dispatch. I mean, not only for the crazy, scary things that they have to hear on a regular basis, but the stupidity of humanity that they also hear on a day-to-day basis.
That's just it. It's like, you know, Durham Police puts out this video because, like, it's funny and absurd and a great reminder to try and use some discretion before you call emergency services. But if they put out a video for every idiot that called in, social media would be flooded.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
90s nostalgia is so huge right now. There's so many 90s acts having a resurgence going on tour after doing nothing for years and making some good coin.
It feels like Creed really paved the path. You know, it was Creed and the Backstreet Boys. Both went out there and got that bag of money, and everybody else was like, well, I want some.
Yeah. Eve 6 and Fastball, if you remember those bands.
I do.
They just announced that they're doing a tour this spring throughout the States, and they may have put out one of the greatest and most honest promos that a 90s band could ever put out.
Okay.
Listen to this here.
Are you tired of going to see bands from the 90s and all night, all you hear are 2, maybe 3 hits?
Yeah.
I know I am.
Everything's too damn expensive these days. I say it's time regular folks finally got their money's worth.
That's why Eve 6 and Fastball are teaming up
to bring you 2 bands,
1 night,
and 6 hits. Anyone could see the road. I would swallow my pride. You're an ocean. Brothers had to try. Was I out of my head? Oh, yeah. Here's to the night.
This April, don't settle for less.
Settle for 6.
6 hits.
You know, it's nice to see a band actually acknowledge what they are.
It is, but can I say 6 feels generous.
I knew 3 of them.
I knew 4. I knew 4 of those songs. I don't know. I would say they were all hits, but it's true. Like, there are just these bands that they got famous off of like 1 or 2 songs. And that's not to say they don't have a catalog of decent music, But a lot of times you are going for the dopamine hit of that one song you listened to when you were younger.
There's a few people in the crowd that have maybe gotten to the band, bought the albums back in the day. But yeah, for the most part, everybody's just there to hear the one song. I mean, like a one-hit wonder, going to go see them in concert is just like a one-night stand. You know, it's a great story to talk about.
Honestly, yeah. But it definitely went longer than it needed to.
I will say, I do think any band that is a one-hit wonder, and we've seen a few one-hit wonder bands, me and Courtney, and a few of them, what I've seen do is they will play the song that everybody wants to hear off the top.
That's smart, man. Don't make people wait for it. They paid full price for the ticket. If they only want to hear that one song,
just give it to them.
And then they want to go for dinner or just go home, relieve the babysitter, let them have it.
Well, that's the thing. You say the babysitter, you got to think about like all these bands that like had their hurrah in the 90s. Anybody that's going to these shows right now is in their late 30s, early 40s, maybe 50s now. It's like they don't got the time for your 10:30 start of a set. Like,
I'm not here for the deep cuts. I appreciate your art, but play the thing that was on Big Shiny Tunes.
It's like, when we lived in Regina, the band that does the Friends theme song played the fair there.
What are they, the Rembrandts or something?
They started off playing the Friends theme song, played a bunch of random songs that nobody knew, and then wrapped up with the Friends theme song, because I think that's a great way to do it, is that you give everybody what they wanted to see off the top, play your songs, do your show, and then wrap it up again for everyone who stuck around.
That's just it, because it's perfect. For anybody who was late, they didn't miss it because they're still getting it again at the end. Anybody who stuck around and listened to songs they might have been hearing for the first time. Like with that Friends band, I got to MC that. I was on the stage and I was like, give it up for the Rembrandts. And then all of a sudden they did the clap, and I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. Every song they played after that, I was like, I've never heard this in my life.
Going to go see a one-hit wonders band is like going to East Side Mario's. You know, you go fill up on the bread and the salad, and maybe you pick at your food and you go home.
You're there for one very specific reason, and everything else is just whatever.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I heard this conversation the other day about kegs, like beer kegs, and it kind of got me thinking. When I was growing up, probably very similar to you, a lot of teen movies that would portray like house parties, frat parties, any kind of party. The centerpiece was always a keg. Someone had a keg sitting in the middle of the room. When's the last time you drank out of a keg? Other than like the draft at a bar?
Like going to a kegger?
Yeah.
Probably had to be college. I haven't been to one in a long time.
I feel like Hollywood and pop culture led us to believe that we would all be drinking out of kegs a lot more often than we actually do.
Yeah, it was a big trope in high school movies for sure, which was always funny because in movies they'd have one keg and there'd be like 100 people at a party and that clearly wasn't enough beer.
Right. They never showed the scene where somebody had to take the empty keg away and bring in a new keg and tap it and get it all ready to go.
There would always be the scene of like, oh, the keg's tapped, man.
Yeah. We're here. We're drinking. You're right. Like, dozens and dozens of kids all drinking off one keg.
We did have a few keg parties in high school, though. I mean, like every year, my buddy Creasy and his older brothers, they would get a couple of kegs and they would charge like $5. And like they had like a big compound outside of Milton there. And it was like everyone that was in high school showed up with a $5 and like it was the worst. They got the cheapest beer of all time. They most definitely rinsed us all, but
it's also, the keg is not the best way to drink beer. Unless you're trying to get beer to dozens and dozens of people at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Did people at those parties ever do like keg stands and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah. Automatically. It was like the thing, like the first time we were going, we were like, you have to do one.
Keg stands are disgusting. You cannot convince me otherwise.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's putting their mouth on it.
Yeah. Everybody's going to just suck on the nozzle and then they're like, all right, who wants the next cup? Absolutely not. No, thank you.
But when you're in like grade 10, you're not thinking about that. You're just like, I am living every teen movie of all time right now.
Exactly. You would walk into a party either because you knew there was going to be a keg or sometimes someone would show up with a keg. They'd become the hero. And you knew like this party is about to get out of control.
It was kegs were a big one. And then like when I was in college, it was like, you ever do jungle juice?
What is jungle juice?
You've never done jungle juice before?
I'm not familiar with the term.
So it'd be like, let's take whatever bottles we got.
Okay.
We'll just put them in like a big punch bowl. And then you just pour everything in there with some juice or some soda, whatever it is.
But I guess the question that immediately comes to mind is why? That sounds awful.
Because the goal was to get as frigged up as you possibly could. And you're broke as hell when you're in college, so you're going to do with what you got.
Flavor did not factor into... Maybe that's like the biggest thing about getting older is like now, if I go out to a bar or I go to a restaurant and I order a drink, I'm ordering with my taste buds and not with my liver. You know what I mean? Like, I like a nice Caesar and it's with my meal or something like that. I'm not like... Give me 6 rounds of tequila at a cement mixer.
Yeah, it depends on how life's going sometimes, you know? I'm going to be honest with you.
This is the Brock and Delby Podcast.
We got a friend of the show, Johnny, on the phone. Johnny, when you were in high school back in the day, when did you know a party was getting out of hand, or what's the craziest thing you ever saw?
One time there, I was at a party, and we had a little pump there, and we started pumping gas through a pressure washer. And we're lighting it on fire. That was...
You created your own flamethrower.
Yeah, pretty much.
Honestly, one of the first things that came to my mind is if you go to a party and there is any kind of an out-of-a-pit fire, something's going to happen tonight. That's a guarantee.
Oh, the amount of gas cans I've seen blow up at parties like that.
Even the small
crazy.
sign is like, if there's even one pallet within 10 feet of an open flame, by the end of the night, we are burning everything.
Oh, we've got it within like a kilometer. We go and pick it up. Like it's kind of crazy. We burnt the neighbor's couch one time.
Where was the neighbor's couch at the time you burned it, just for safety's sake?
I don't think I can say that.
Legally, I mean, hey, maybe statute of limitations is passed, but maybe a smart idea.
Yeah.
You know, I think what he's describing is a good old bush party right there. Which do kids still have those anymore?
I don't know. That was like the only way that we partied in the summertime back living up in the Northwest Territories, right? We were too young for anybody to own their own home. And eventually all the parents would be like, you're not bringing your rowdy ass friends over, so you just go to the beach.
I think a sign that a party was always going to be out of control was if you had to go out of town, if you had to like have a bush party, or at least like growing up in Milton was if we went to another town.
Oh, yeah.
If you went to another town, you knew it was going to be crazy because there was probably going to be a fight.
Yeah.
Same thing if like when the kids from Georgetown came to Milton, it was always on, you know, there was always like a weird tension in the room or something.
Just like being in Hay River, if the Yellowknife kids were up for like a hockey tournament or a baseball tournament, depending on the time of the year, and there was a big party, small town, they're going to find out about it. They're going to show up. And someone's gonna dust it up.
Stop looking at our girls.
It was the most it ever felt like living in an Archie comic.
Yeah.
You're just looking across and somebody cross a big fire, just be like, you're not from around here.
And if there wasn't one guy that somehow went to hockey camp or played hockey with someone else that was able to break the ice, then it was on, you know?
Able to slow things down a little bit, gather everybody around.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there was always that one jag off with his guitar. It's ruining it for everybody.
Yeah, that's a sign that a party sucks as soon as someone brings out a guitar. That's not getting out of control. That's getting super lame.
This is the Brock and Delby Podcast.
We got $100 in Lotto 649 tickets, and we're playing excuses, so we're wondering.
So what's your fucking excuse?
Why are you staring? What are you looking at? That's the question here this morning, inspired by our draft from earlier today.
And you've got all the options of being aggressive or being apologetic or being honest. Some people are definitely honest when you get asked that question.
All right, first one we got in here. And remember, if you're not one of our starers, you are a judge. 762-555, but the first one we got in here is...
Hey, Talon. Sorry for looking. I thought you were Delby's dad. Right.
Great callback.
Stop it.
Great callback.
Stop. People got to stop trying to cash in on my deadbeat dad.
I thought it was your dad. Use that excuse honestly if someone catches you looking. All right, next one here.
I'm looking at whatever I want to look at. How do you like that?
Here you go,
Dave.
tough guy.
All right, I'll get you smacked.
To be fair, if you're going to act that tough, you should already be wearing white Oakleys. So.
Yeah. Here's Cody.
Hey, babe. Check out that girl's weird shoes. Aren't they weird? Definitely not looking at that tight little mini skirt. Weird cute girl.
Yikes.
It sounds like more an excuse that you tell your girlfriend why
Yeah.
she's
Yeah. When you're not looking at her, and she still asks you, what are you looking at?
Yeah. Okay, we've got some contenders here. This is Ivan.
Oh, no. I was looking at that spot on your face. I thought it was a giant bug crawling across your cheek, but I see it's a birthmark or something.
God.
I was just getting ready to smack you in the face with my newspaper. But you're all right.
As someone with multiple birthmarks on their face, they take that one personally.
That one's a little aggressive.
Okay, we'll do two more here.
Hey, what are you looking at?
I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet.
Oh, a little teamwork.
That's a classic,
I like
and
that.
always love when we get a little tandem on there.
Somebody that takes it to the next level, puts a little production value into it.
Okay, last one we'll play.
Hi, this is Kylie. Honestly, I thought you were about to do something legendary.
Ooh.
That's actually really clever.
That's good, because you kind of are explaining why you maybe were looking, and then also you're a bit of a disappointment.
It kind of deflects the anger too. Yeah,
I wasted my time staring at you because you didn't do anything cool.
762-555. Who had the best excuse for what are you looking at here? I think, in my opinion, front runners is this one.
Hey, Alan. Sorry for looking. I thought you were Dolby's dad.
Stop it. No, we're not giving the prize. We did a whole thing about my dad yesterday. You're not winning for my dad today.
It is a great excuse, though.
It's great. Executive decision. He's not winning.
And I do like the tandem.
Hey, what are you looking at?
I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet.
Both of them got some stank on the voice, too.
And I also do love the last one, Kylie's with the legendary.
Hi, this is Kylie. Honestly, I thought you were about to do something legendary.
What's the text line saying?
Text line is sort of in the same. Too many of you were. He's not winning. The guy who said I thought you were Dolby's dad is not winning.
But if the people spoke,
ineligible. It's between Kaylee and Kylie. It's either the tandem or the legendary. You can go ahead and choose, but I'm vetoing the dad one.
What if he actually did find your dad?
Well, then tell him he owes me a birthday present.
All right, I'll let you pick.
All right. You know what? Again, I love the idea of playing the game and taking it to the next level. So I think the pair.
We'll give it to the tandem?
Yeah.
All right. You get the ding and the round of applause. To whoever sent us the voice memo with the Dolby's dad one, if you do ever find Dolby's dad, free $100 in OLG tickets for you.
Hey, that's on you, brother. Neither me or the company are responsible for that debt.
The Brock and Dolby Podcast.
We want you to text us 762-555. Ask us a question right now. You can ask anything. Send it to us now.
Damn.
762-555. Send it to
All right, now you can relax all the veins in your face.
Took a long way to get to that harmonica. First one in here says, we wash our hands after we pee. Why don't we wash them before?
I guess that's a fair question. I guess because we're just not that worried about getting grime down there.
We
you know
should
what I mean?
be, though. If you think about it, you're going into the bathroom, you're touching door handles, you're touching everything. And I mean, specifically for guys,
Yeah.
then you're getting hands-on with it.
That's right. Well, that's why I prefer the hands-free method. I just keep a hand on my you know, whether it's like pulling down the waist or opening
You
up the
bragging
little
right
flap.
now?
Absolutely.
You humble bragging?
I don't have to hold on to it. I just let it do its thing.
Wow.
That's why my bathroom needs to be cleaned fairly regularly.
It's pretty impressive. Someone said, other than Dolby smelling like roast beef, is there any other jokes or bit that you guys have done to each other that bug?
I don't think there's anything. Like, I know people often think when we bring up the stuff about how, like, my dad's not around. Like, oh, doesn't that bother? Like, no, like, my dad left when I was like 6.
I'm cool with the short jokes because anytime I meet someone, they're always like, oh, you're taller than I thought.
Yeah. Or even like every now and again, you'll make a joke about like me being a heavy guy. I make more jokes than you do. And then it's the same thing when I meet people out in the world. They're like, you're not as fat as I thought you would be. So it's always a nice part of the self-esteem.
Yeah.
The bald thing, I've been balding since I was 20. Like, I've come to terms with that.
I feel like, I don't know. I think personally, and tell me if I'm wrong, I think we're close enough that like whatever jabs and stuff. And I think if you have good friends, like that's what being friends is.
That's just it. Like, there's a lot of stuff that you say that if somebody else said it, yeah, it would bother me. But when you're friends, like, it's just part of the banter.
Yeah.
So, and we also know each other. I'm certain you know my buttons that would set me off, and you just don't push them.
The things that bug me are the Leafs jokes. Right. And that has nothing to do with me, but yeah.
And again, you make more of them than I do.
All right, what's another one here? What is the sexiest food?
The sexiest food?
Are we talking like looks wise, or are we talking to eat?
Right, because like...
Could you just go melons, like looks wise, if you're trying to do something like that?
Melons, bananas, cucumbers, eggplant obviously has like a connotation to it.
I think if you're talking to eat, I mean... to watch someone eat, you could say like a popsicle.
Yeah. Popsicle, corn dog, that sort of thing. Some people find eating oysters to be attractive, and I don't get that at all. That's disgusting.
Slurping?
Yeah. Same with like, I've seen people being like, maybe it's in like tropes and TV and stuff like that, but like someone seductively slurping up a spaghetti noodle, and I'm just like, that's not attractive.
Maybe if you close your eyes.
Is it just the sound that's
ASMR kind of thing?
I'm going to pass on that.
This one says, not a question, but a suggestion. I think golf courses should have punching bags at the end of the hole.
Honestly.
Fantastic idea.
Yeah, but you know what? The problem with that is then the golf course has to have the expense of putting up the punching bags, maintenance and all that stuff. And they're going to lose money because now you're not buying as many clubs when you go back to the pro shop to replace the ones you broke.
I would pay an extra $15 if I could get a punching bag on my golf cart.
Ooh, just like a little speed bag off the back where you hang your clubs.
Yeah.
Just something that you could take. Because I have watched you throw a club before.
Or you know what? Someone asked us the other day of like genius ideas or $1 million ideas. I feel like I brought this up on the show before. I went to a park one day and they have those things where the kids can like talk through the ground to each other.
Yeah. The big tubes.
That's what they should have. They should have those at the end of the hole where you can like scream into the void.
Right. Yeah. And the tube just goes off into like a cornfield somewhere. It only scares the birds.
It goes into the bunker on the next hole. You know. So you can channel your energy and pass it off onto the next guy, you know?
Want to be a part of the podcast?
Leave a message on the Bad Line.
The Bad Line is the answering machine for the Brock and Dalby Show.
To get the number, text the word BAD to 762-555.
Thanks for listening to the Brock and Dalby podcast.